Welcome to today's deep dive. So picture this. You're sitting at a massive sports bar, eyes glued to a pristine 4K screen waiting for the game-winning play, and then boom.
Oh no, let me guess, the screen just goes black.
Exactly, you get that dreaded handshake error. No signal. Well, today we're demystifying a seriously heavy-duty piece of AV gear that prevents that exact disaster. It is called the Kramer VM-2HDT 1.2 plus 1 HDMI to long-reach HDBaseT DA.
Which is, frankly, a massive mouthful to name.
Yeah, it really is.
But this little metal box is what keeps complex multi-screen setups running smoothly, especially when you're trying to push huge amounts of video data across an enormous building.
Okay, let's unpack this because, anyone who's tried to run a long HDMI cable knows they just drop out after like 50 feet or so. You literally cannot push heavy 4K video that far over standard cords.
Right, yeah. With digital signals, it's not just a slow fade.
Yeah.
You hit what's called a digital cliff, and the picture just vanishes completely.
Oh, wow.
So you need a way to bridge that physical gap, which is where the HDBaseT part of that long name comes in.
Since standard cables fail over those long distances, how does this specific Kramer device actually solve the gap? Is it translating the signal to run over a different type of cable entirely?
Yes, exactly. What's fascinating here is the sheer scale of that conversion. This box takes one standard HDMI input and translates it to run over standard Ethernet network cables.
Wait, like the exact same Cat6 cables you'd use to wire a computer for internet?
The very same ones, yeah. Through those two Ethernet outputs, it can push a dense 4K video signal up to 40 meters, which is about 130 feet.
That is far.
It is, and if you step the resolution down to 1080p, you can actually push it an incredible 70 meters or 230 feet.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It takes that thick, heavy HDMI data and runs it over a medium that's actually designed for long distances. So it's like standard HDMI is a short garden hose, right?
All right.
And this Kramer device is like a high-pressure manifold that perfectly clones the water stream so it shoots way further down the line.
I like that analogy. Spot on.
And just to clarify, the +1 aspect of that 1.2 plus 1 name, it's an HDMI loop output, meaning you can hook up a local monitor right next to the source or, daisy chain even more units together.
Exactly. It basically gives installers a tremendous amount of flexibility. They can route high-quality video wherever they need it without ever hitting that digital cliff.
But pushing a signal far is really only half the battle, because ensuring the video quality doesn't degrade into some pixelated mess along the way is the real challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
So here's where it gets really interesting. How does it prevent those dreaded handshake errors between a source and these distant TVs?
Ah, the handshake. So every single TV sends out a digital ID card, which is called an ED.
Right, that tells the video source exactly what resolution and frame rate it can handle, right?
Yes. But over long distances, that digital ID card often gets lost or delayed. So the video source panics, assumes the TV was unplugged, and just shuts off the feed entirely.
Which is the sports bar disaster we talked about at the start.
Exactly. So this Kramer device uses an IED Pro algorithm. It handles all that ED processing to ensure a true plug-and-play operation. It constantly reassures the video source that the TV is still there and ready.
Oh, that's clever. It actively intervenes so the connection doesn't drop.
It really does. Plus, it highlights their Kramer equalization and reclocking technology.
Reclocking?
Yeah, it actively rebuilds the digital signal's integrity over those long distances. It's essentially fixing the data on the fly. And it manages to do all this heavy computational lifting silently inside a rugged, fanless aluminum megatools enclosure.
Wow. So what does this all mean? Well, it means you aren't just buying a simple cable extender. For a discounted price of around $856, professionals get an indestructible AV solution.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really reminds us that devices like this are the invisible backbone of modern commercial spaces.
Absolutely.
Every time you're watching a game in a massive venue, there is hidden infrastructure constantly rebuilding and translating that data at the speed of light.
So you never miss a play. Which leaves you with a thought to ponder. If we can actively rebuild and reclock heavy 4K data packets over 230 feet of wire in real time, how close are we to maxing out the physical limits of traditional cables?
That's a very good question.
Right. I mean, eventually, we might have to abandon copper entirely and rely strictly on fiber optics just to push our data any further.
Yeah.
Something to think about.